Hello, I'm Professor Corrine Hanlon. I will be teaching a new MSFS workshop in the fall called the Security Development Nexus. This workshop is going to focus on security sector governance and reform, specifically where the security and development fields come together. What will you be expected to do in this course? Instead of writing longer research papers, and I don't know of any boss that is happy with a 30-page research paper, that analyze the problems or the underlying causes, which of course are important, and we will take all of that into account. But in this course, we're going to do something that's a bit more practical in the terms of what you're actually going to do in the workplace. And the focus will be not so much on understanding the underlying causes, which is certainly important, but will be more focused on designing solutions for fixing these problems. And this is a particularly tough job or tough assignment in some ways because it's not what you're going to do usually in graduate school, but it's what you're going to do mostly in the workplace. When you're asked to develop a project or a proposal, what your boss or what your coworkers want from you is solutions. What do you think can be done to solve a particular problem? What do you think is the intended impact? And why do you think that, and can you make a case for it? And so what I'd like to do is use this workshop to give you a little bit of practice and to give you a bit of experience in doing this kind of writing and developing these kinds of workplace papers or workplace writing assignments that will hopefully prepare you a little bit for the kinds of things you would need to do in the workplace. So specifically what you'll do is you'll conduct a security sector assessment. You will develop security assistance briefs, and you'll do a capstone project, which is basically a concept paper. And what you're going to do is you'll address a certain problem, you'll describe the problem, you'll put together an outline of the kinds of steps that would be involved in the project or work plan that you're developing. You will include a budget. This is important because we have great ideas, but we need to make sure that they're actually feasible based on the funding that we would have available. You'll need a monitoring and evaluation plan, and you're going to want an impact statement, basically to tell the reader, or in this case, the funder, the person you're bringing this concept to, what it is you think your project will have in terms of impact, how it's going to solve the problem. Not to worry, we will work through all the elements of this, and we'll work on learning how to do this well. But these are the kinds of things that will come into the concept paper. These are also the kinds of things that you will do very frequently in the kinds of positions that you may be interested in, as we described earlier. I have designed this course to give students as much practical experience in the actual work that occurs at the Nexus of Security and Development. And at USIP, where I currently work, I lead security sector projects for the Middle East and Africa. And I designed this course around the type of work that I do every day. As I thought about the assignments that would be useful for students in this course, I thought about what I wish I had known before I came to a position like this and what I have learned in conducting this kind of work. And I've used those to design a workshop that I think will be very useful to students who are interested after graduating from the MSFS program to pursue a career perhaps at an NGO or at a State Department office or bureau overseas, perhaps working for an international organization. If you want to design and eventually lead programs, either in Washington, D.C. or in the field, this is the course for you. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I am a graduate, actually, of the School of Foreign Service. I'm an undergraduate, and then I went on to the Fletcher School for my MALD and my PhD. I've spent most of my career teaching students, mostly professional students, at the graduate school level. Most recently, I was dean at National Defense University of one of their 5 colleges, and I taught mostly international students from the military and the civilian sectors, the senior leaders and senior military officers. I came to USIP in 2011 on a sabbatical, working on a book on security sector reform with a colleague from the Fletcher School. And I'm now the special advisor at the Center for Middle East and Africa, and I work on a number of projects involving countering violent extremists, armed non-state actors, counterterrorism, and specifically on security sector reform and border security issues. I do a lot of work right now in North Africa, which requires me to travel frequently to the region, and I hope to bring some of the practical problems and dilemmas and challenges and exercises that we're doing in the field into the classroom as part of an example of how the kinds of things you'll be doing are actually happening in the field and why the kinds of assignments that you're doing are going to be useful to you as you move forward in your career. In terms of your actual assignment, your workload, there will be, and here's some good news, there will be no in-class or take-home exams. Instead, you have 4 assignments. Some of these will be individual and some will be group-based because in the workplace, you will most often be working collegially and collaboratively with your colleagues. And so it's a good opportunity to do this a little bit in practice in the classroom, to share who is responsible for which parts of the assignments, and to be able to also produce a product that has one voice, even though it has many authors, and sometimes those authors aren't even in the same country. So these are all real-world examples that I bring into this classroom. You will also be briefing panels of experts who I'm going to bring to the classroom. These are going to be individuals who are currently in the State Department, other parts of the U.S. government, NGOs, depending on the availability and timing in the fall. But these will be individuals who are about 5 to 10 years ahead of you in their careers, and who actually, in their daily jobs, receive concept papers and proposals like the ones you're going to develop and decide whether or not to fund them. So this is good practice for you in terms of presenting what you think is a good solution to a problem to individuals who deal in the region that you're going to be dealing with and who have experience in security sector reform, governance, and development. It's also a good opportunity for you to do a little bit of networking with people who are just a bit further ahead in their careers, to find out the kinds of things that they've learned and any advice they might have for you as you embark upon your careers after graduation.